Every cellular network operates on an unavoidable requirement. To route calls and data to a device, the network must know exactly where that device is. Absolute privacy and cellular connectivity are architecturally incompatible. To maintain a viable connection pathway, your mobile device emits a continuous radio pulse, reaching out to the nearest cell towers. By measuring the signal strength from 3 or more of these towers, the network triangulates your physical position, logging a permanent, rolling footprint of your movements. During this mandatory handshake, the device broadcasts 2 primary identifiers: the IMEI, which is hard-coded to your physical phone hardware, and the IMSI, the subscriber number tied to your SIM card. You can encrypt the data packets you send across the internet, but the metadata, the geographic coordinates mapping your specific identifiers to a physical space, is fully visible and held by your local mobile network operator. Because preventing this metadata generation is impossible at the hardware level, advanced operational security must focus on manipulating exactly who holds that data. When a local carrier maintains a centralized database of subscriber identities mapped to precise geographic coordinates, that metadata pool becomes a target for dragnet surveillance operations. Law enforcement agencies routinely execute cell tower dumps, legal demands forcing the carrier to hand over the identity and location of every device encompassing a specific physical radius during a given time window. The carriers themselves also package and sell this location data to third-party brokers, building demographic datasets of the people attending specific political rallies or events. To mitigate this tracking, we have to pinpoint the vulnerabilities inherent in a local cellular connection and deploy a structural countermeasure against the carrier. This countermeasure involves acquiring a foreign eSIM without attaching a conventional identity to it, forcing your device into a permanent state of international roaming. Operating under this roaming configuration forces the local cellular network to architecturally blind itself to the true identity of the subscriber holding the device. This diagram traces data in a standard connection. The handset transmits its IMEI and IMSI blocks to the local cell tower. The tower routes that information through a mobile switching center, depositing it into the carrier's home location register, the central database holding your account details. Inside these database facilities, your subscriber metadata is stored, indexed, and queried every time you attempt a connection. The first major interception point in this chain occurs directly at the tower level. Adversaries deploy stingrays, machines mimicking legitimate cell towers to trick your phone into connecting, allowing the operator to catch your IMSI and track your location. Next is the vulnerability of legacy data packets. Traditional unencrypted SMS messages and standard voice calls are routed fully exposed through this local infrastructure. Major cellular providers also deploy voice fingerprinting equipment directly at the switch level, executing automated biometric checks on the audio of those legacy voice calls. This technology analyzes the voice sample and maps it against a centralized database, linking an otherwise anonymous connection to a known identifiable profile. Because of voice fingerprinting, the traditional model of buying a cheap burner phone in cash fails the moment a legacy voice call is made. The network matches your voice and logs your physical location. A secondary hardware risk lies in the SIM card itself. Every SIM card operates as an active, independent microcontroller. It runs instructions through the SIM toolkit functionality directly at the device's baseband level. This operates entirely outside the jurisdiction of your mobile operating system. If a local carrier or an adversary who coerces them for the cryptographic key targets you, they can push silent instructions directly to your device's baseband hardware. This exploit allows them to force the phone to send text messages, drop active calls, or activate the microphone to eavesdrop on your surroundings. Because this occurs below the OS level, it bypasses hardened, privacy-focused operating systems like Graphene OS. The phone does not control the SIM card controls the phone. Utilizing a local network SIM card means granting that operator an autonomous, invisible backdoor directly into the lowest hardware levels of your device. To solve the local database problem and close the SIM backdoor, we replace the local SIM with a non-KYC foreign eSIM profile. Connecting with a foreign eSIM profile changes the architectural handshake. The local carrier queries the IMSI, but returns a null result for your subscriber information. Logging you as a visitor, The switch provides service but routes the authorization request offshore to the eSIM's home network. For instance, you could be operating a device in North America, but using a Polish network profile. Your home location register physically resides in Poland. This offshore routing creates a massive logistical wall. An adversary trying to serve a subpoena to a domestic carrier will find they literally do not hold your phone number or identity. The target network is obscured, which neutralizes Signaling System 7 or SS7 attacks, where bad actors intercept calls by exploiting the routing protocols between networks. It also acts as a powerful complication for SIM swapping attacks. If attackers don't know your origin network or how the call is routed, successfully faking your identity to hijack the number becomes much more difficult. By forcing your device into permanent foreign roaming, you drop a structural blind spot into the local telecommunications infrastructure. Strict operational security requires realistic threat modeling to define the exact boundaries of this foreign eSIM configuration. This method does not stop the local carrier from tracking the device. The physical infrastructure still triangulates your physical location. The local network sees a visitor from another country, and they know exactly where that visitor is standing. Any unencrypted data packets transmitted over this roaming connection remain vulnerable to local carrier interception and analysis. The physical hardware identifier, the IMEI, remains hard-coded and visible to the local network, regardless of which virtual SIM profile you load into the phone. There is also the specific risk of timing analysis. If an adversary discovers your foreign number, they can send an SMS and correlate delivery time with local tower pings to identify your device. The roaming eSIM removes the identity linkage and solves the baseband control problem, but it cannot neutralize physical proximity tracking or standard data interception. To seal the remaining vulnerabilities of the foreign eSIM, we must push the configuration to a higher tier of mobile security. Architecturally, the optimal solution is to abandon the phone number and utilize a strictly data-only eSIM plan. Without a phone number, the device cannot send or receive legacy SMS messages or voice calls. This nullifies the threat of voice fingerprinting and removes the vector for timing analysis attacks. You then route that data-only connection into an encrypted proxy, like a VPN or a Tor tunnel. This severs the local carrier's ability to inspect or intercept your packets. This map illustrates the final architectural outcome: an unlinked hardware ID separated from a network identity, generating a data stream that routes securely into an encrypted tunnel. In the past, privacy relied on primitive one-way hardware like broadcast pagers, where the network shouted a message without knowing where the receiver stood. Surveillance statecraft has evolved past this, forcing modern evasion to occur at the protocol level. The final operational requirement is financial. By funding your network access using decentralized cryptocurrencies like Monero or Lightning Bitcoin, you ensure no banking KYC data exists in the transaction chain. By removing fiat payment data and forcing the local infrastructure to treat the device as a nameless data conduit, we strip the cellular network of its most dangerous asset, the link between a physical location and a confirmed human identity.